Greetings, Geeshlings. Geeshin Prime here with my review of One Piece Chapter 901. Uh, Even if you die, don't die. Also, warning, there will be a mess probably at the end or by the next minute or so. So, if you're squeamish, look away. Anyway, previously on One Piece. Wedding cake! Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's like, oh, blissful cake. It's like, what was it? This is all done in one take and it sucks. But yeah, that was the stupidest thing I did on video, I'm sure. But anyway, on to my review. Now that the food porn essentially is over with, we get what's probably the final installment of the Harodin cover story. We meet the final member of the crew. You know, there was only 5 giants. It's Gerds, who is their doctor. She's all grown up and everything. She's probably close to 80 years old, but hey, she got it going on. Looks like a Norwegian Reiju, in my opinion. Nothing wrong about that. But from there, things kick off. We're on Puff's Island. Perosphero's group goes to check on Big Mom and report in to her to kind of fill her in on some things if she's conscious, which she kind of wasn't. And I actually have a theory about what her true condition is, which is probably something people have already had, but it's a topic that I know a fair bit about, and I probably will have a theory video out on that. Hopefully once my internet's fixed. But anyway, so she's just in a blissful sugar coma. They said she has a look of euphoria about her. And some clarification from the previous chapter. What happened was that was actually the Sun Pirate ship that was destroyed. I figured it was not the Sunny. Kind of funny. Sun Pirates? The Sunny. Oh, that Oda. But anyway, as it turns out, the Fishman Pirates had, or the Sun Pirates, I guess, the Fishmen in general, came up with a rescue plan for the Straw Hats. It was basically a simple, effective plan employing a similar tactic that was used during the Fishman Island arc with Megalo and Shirahoshi, where Megalo had Shirahoshi hidden in his mouth, and you know, it's like, it's like I can't let her be seen kind of thing. Well, except this time around, it's Watasumi, and he pulled down the Sunny after putting the other ship, their ship, up, and then just popped the Sunny in his mouth, which, given his size, not really an issue. He's a big guy. Plus, he was holding the Sunny in just his hand, and that's creepy in itself that he's that big. And then, you know, just pulled the switcheroo. They attacked the ship, and there you go. And it did kind of work for a little bit. Partially because, like, I guess when the Sunny was dragged down, the ship's flag came off and it was floating in the water like we saw last chapter. And then he proceeds to swim as far away as he can underwater. But sadly, the decoy, as I said, it was a working plan, but didn't last that long, because Smoothie and Oven eventually catch on to the plot, and then the latter is in hot pursuit. Ha ha. Oven and hot, you know. Haha, that's comedy. Anyway, but attacking Watatsumi with a new technique called Hot Sea Torpedo, which looked like a bunch of like superheated ocean currents, really. Like almost tendrils in the way that they were. I have no idea how he would create something like that. All of his other powers have been relatively consistent to what logically would happen, but this one, no, not at all. But then this latest assault has Watasumi surface, and then he just kind of pooh, spit launches the Sunny a good distance further away, followed by him, like, go on. It's like, you don't need to be here anymore. And he starts apologizing for his transgressions during the Fishman arc, and how Jinbei, even after all the horrible things he did during that time period, Jinbei still took him in, and he greatly appreciates that. And then we see like a small flashback of the fishermen, and they've decided to come and help, even if it means the end of their lives, in the process of this rescue mission and assistance. Then we have the revelation, or this revelation shocks Jinbei, as it would. I mean, it's like, my old crew is possibly going to die just trying to get me to safety. So he wasn't, too happy about that, obviously, which we'll get to what he does afterwards. But he starts instructing to mend the sails and bail out the water, and, to increase the speed as much as possible to get them out of there. And when asked why, he tells Luffy, I can't let my old crew die for my sake. And Luffy agrees, and he's like, well, we'll help. And he's like putting his, shirt back on and everything. And Jinbei's like, no. It's like, it's not that simple. It's like, if the Queen Mama Cantor, makes it any closer than it already is, then there's no hope for the Straw Hats. So knowing this, he's like, I'm going to be the rear guard. Well, Luffy kind of, gives in, and with a bit of a vote of confidence in Jinbei, Luffy, is like, I'm your captain, and we will meet again in Wano. We'll be waiting there for you. So, and then here comes the title, even if you die, don't die. Such an anime statement, manga anime statement you ever heard. Then, change of scene, we have off the coast of Puff's Island, Big Mom and Perospero are racing off on what looks to be like a frog. It might have been a clam or some other kind of weird candy creature, I assume, because, Perospero's there, obviously. The candy would probably start whittling away if he wasn't there. So it has to be something that he probably created, or otherwise, why would he even be there if it was just any other homie? Which really makes you wonder, where was Prometheus in that, now that I think about it. But they're racing off to Coco Island. He had filled in Big Mom, and she's like, Straw Hat Boy will make for good homies. They'll be nice and strong if I rip out his soul. Which I assume will kill Luffy in the process. I doubt she's going to leave a sliver of his life left. So, she just didn't outright say it. Also, speaking of soul stealing and people dying, we see what appears to be, not Monspite, that's Seven Deadly Sins, crap. What was his name? Dang. Moscato. That's it. Moscato. Here's a wine. He was the first child we saw that Big Mom kind of just TKO'd, but and it was brought to my attention by someone on Twitter. It was, I think, on one of Joy Boy's tweets, or him in general was tweeting it out, that when that happened, after Big Mom left, or was calmed down, Mont Dore, who was introduced in that chapter, was like, I think he told the Big Mom's incarnates, her soul incarnates, that it's like, gather up all the pieces of his soul. So she just kind of like threw it everywhere. She didn't really have a reason in mind to just steal them. It was just what she did. So hinting that he might still be alive, though never thought we'd actually see him again. I mean, there's a lot of kids to keep up with, and but it was a big show of things, so I guess it makes sense that we would get to see him. And anyway, and then while that was going on, for a distance away, we have the fire tank pirates. They had commandeered a tart ship. So they're somewhat flying under the radar because it's like, why attack one of the tart ships? Which makes me wonder how it hasn't sent a distress signal or something yet, unless they killed everybody on board. But then finally we see Jinbei. He's joined the churning seas, and Aladdin is not happy about it. It's like, what? We're doing this for you, and you come back into this mess. And, Jinbei's just not. Excuse me, that cake. But Jinbei's just not that kind of person. He's not going to let someone die for his sake. And then while that was going on, we also have big news Morgans and Stussy in what appears to be some kind of an airship a la James and the Giant Peach, because it looked like almost Caesar's airship, but then there were, what are they called, cuckoos or something, the news birds, which Morgans would have connections with, were essentially the propulsion system pulling it along. And he was speculating and even cheering on, Luffy, who was down below at the time. It's like, haha, escape, Straw Hat. And Stussy's like, why are you? You seem like you're on his side. And it's like, of course I am. It's like he's a prime candidate. It's like, like all the other worst generation, one of them is liable to become king of the pirates. So, yeah, we now know what Morgans is. I don't know what he's plotting with that. I guess just to be like, I'll keep tabs on a future pirate king, that'd be kind of cool. But other than that, I think I covered just about everything. I can't really speculate much else. I really, the only thing that I thought was going to be more of an issue than it actually turned out to be was the whole like weird hallucinogenic thing was never mentioned, but really, why would it be? Because it was all in Big Mom's head. Who else is seeing that anyway? Which then, what we saw was what actually happened. It was just perspective, you change that about a little bit and it looks completely different. So, yeah, and I mean, the chapter flowed. It seemed like it went by like that. So, maybe not the best for, after a break, but it filled in the holes that the last chapter left, and that's fine. Things are ramping up. I haven't a clue when this arc will end, and I'm not going to predict it anymore. I thought like 10 chapters ago it was going to be like about the end, but nope, it's not. Expectations be damned. But yeah, the pacing was good. It was an enjoyable read, and uh, I'll give it. I'm only going to give it a 4 because while I enjoyed it and everything, there wasn't like any major punching moments, and there were some nice moments, but just nothing that really hit me as hard as some of the other stuff, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Keishan Prime, and I'll see you next time. Keishlings, roll out.